I'm doing a little live streaming, and I am here to take your calls. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the news, so there's a lot we can discuss. For TikTok, I just will mention that I'm allowed on for just 3 minutes. So if you want to join the program, go to charlesmoscowitz.com. You could go to the Rumble station, rumble@moscowitz.com, or at YouTube, where I am also live. The YouTube station, I will tell you, I'm monitoring carefully because of censorship. I want to be careful that I don't, nobody says anything that might, be subject to my being purged or banned from YouTube. And in that vein, I actually have here a little button that I can click to temporarily take me off of YouTube if something looks like it's going to run awry. And at the same time, I can then go back on. So, I'm using the technology here to do this wonderful thing, and I'm enjoying it. And you're welcome to join me. Obviously, there's a lot going on in the news. I have some thoughts I want to share about Ukraine. Let me just see, am I going live yet? Oh, there it is. Okay, we're now live on Rumble. And you can comment and send in texts, as it were, at Rumble and at YouTube, but you can also call in. This is a live program, and we are taking literal calls, and you will be heard. 617-396-4958 is the number. 617-396-4958. This is Charles Moscowitz, and normally I do the program Monday through Friday, 10 p.m. to midnight. On Friday nights, I've been just running a pre-recorded program, mainly because it's Shabbos and I shouldn't be live streaming. But for the most part, this is live, and it's a live and interactive experience. And my goal here is to, share ideas and have commentary and offer a venue where people can come right off the street. Thank you. I'm already getting notes on TikTok. Your wisdom is much appreciated. Thank you very much. If you want to call in and comment, you can do so. I'm live on YouTube, Rumble, and about 5 other venues, Facebook, Twitch, all these other amazing venues. And you can actually call the program, 617-396-4958, 617-396-4958. Obviously, there's a lot of evil in the world right now with war. The sovereign nation of Ukraine is under a full frontal assault by a Russian enemy that has a 1,000-mile border with it. We all expected that Putin would maybe scarf down a few provinces on the border, which are Russian-speaking, but I don't think anyone expected a full-scale invasion. And we can pray for the people there. Right now, I will say that, in my opinion, it's not going to work for Putin. It's not going to work for Russia, because the Ukrainian people have a very strong nationalism. They're not going to sit down and take it. What is Russia going to do? Occupy a country that doesn't want them there? I just don't see that as something that's going to happen. But I just want to comment on comments I basically a conversation I had earlier today with a very liberal friend, and who said to me, and it was expressing genuine distress that we all share, but was saying, hey, I can't believe that this is happening in the world right now. I thought that the world was beyond this, that we wouldn't have, these kinds of acts of aggression and these kinds of wars. And, I would note that this person is very liberal in their political orientation. And I was thinking, this is a classic liberal delusion that somehow, we're moving into some kind of a, utopian time when everybody just loves everyone and gets along, and that everything in the universe is going to be good, and then good is going to prevail. We obviously all want that for ourselves and our communities and our families and our nations and the world, but that's not how the world works. There is evil in the world. there are people who want to, and nations and groups that are always going to want to take advantage of weakness, and they're going to want to exploit ignorance and lack of vigilance. I'm not blaming anyone for this. I'm simply noting that it's an element of reality, and that as such, we're never in this world going to get rid of war any more than we're going to get rid of burglaries. We're going to get rid of rape. We're going to get rid of violence. We're going to get rid of fraud. They're going to get rid of anything that involves human agency that can be both good and evil. And that really the best obvious way to reduce things like war, while we recognize we're never going to get rid of it, and to reduce things like theft and violence and all of the violations of our freedom and of our individual ability to function, is to take reasonable precautions, is to set ourselves up so that we can reduce our exposure to these things. I mean, I'll give an obvious example. The front door to my home right now is locked, right? I have a car in the driveway. The door is locked. I'm willing to venture and assume that everyone watching and listening to this program right now can say the same, right? Think about it. You locked your door, you locked your car. It's not because you know that it's going to get ripped off, but it's because you want to reduce the possibility that someone is going to rip off your car or break into your home and rob you. We all take reasonable precautions because we understand that human nature is such that there's always going to be a criminal element that seeks to take advantage and to take something that is not theirs. And that can mean open and outright violence, like as in breaking into a home or stealing a car or invading a country, or it could be through fraud, through subterfuge, by fooling us and engaging in a scheme that makes us give up something by using lies, by using manipulation, and by using psychological methodology to make us think that something is happening when it isn't, or make us perceive things in a certain way that would not necessarily advantage us and that would advantage them. This is why we have free speech in this country, because we don't want to have our means of communication manipulated by people who may not wish us well. Well, maybe they do wish us well. It doesn't matter. The point is that we want to operate in a position of strength, and in a free world, and is based on human nature, the best way to go about that is to operate from an ability to get to truth. So we expect to have free access to media. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to understand the world. I'm trying to hear from people. And yet, I know there's censorship, especially on YouTube, but that's my intent. That's my goal. That's why I do this thing. And that's why we all do what we do. We all try to mitigate our lives based upon what we perceive as true. Okay, it looks like I'm now. What we do. Oops, we all try to mitigate, lower the volume here. Our lives. We're now live on YouTube, and you're welcome to comment on YouTube. Just go to my station on YouTube, Charles Moscowitz, or you can go to my station on Rumble, Charles Moscowitz, and you can comment on TikTok. I'm getting a lot of people on TikTok. And also you can call. I mean, I can literally take a call. 617-396-4958 is the number. 617-396-4958. And looks like we've got somebody wants to come into my chat. You're welcome to do that on TikTok, I suppose. Well, I'll let people request that. I don't quite know how that works, but it's all very interesting. So the latest news coming out of Ukraine is that the Ukrainian people aren't just rolling over. God willing, they'll be safe. These are very dangerous times, and we ought to support them in full. I mean, I think without necessarily going to war. I don't think we need to commit American troops, frankly. But I do think that we need to send them everything and anything short of that to help them defend their country, because they are defending sovereignty, and sovereignty is a progressive idea. It is a principle that is worth saving and fighting for. Okay, looks like we're getting. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, what's going on? Okay. Looks like I'm getting another request from somebody on TikTok. Well, whatever. Okay. And you're welcome to join the program again. Let's just see here. The number is 617-396-4958. 617-396-4958. Looks like I went non-live on TikTok because I don't know how to run TikTok. So I'm going to try to go back live on TikTok. And, by all means, you can either call in or you can stream in. Whatever you feel like doing is great. Let me just click live here. And we are back live. Whoopsie daisy. There we go. Okay, back live on TikTok. Thank you, TikTok. Sorry about the interruption. Apparently, President Trump has delivered a speech at Cpac. I haven't seen it yet. I just got on the air, but I saw a quick synopsis of it on the Gateway Pundit. And they say in flat and no uncertain terms that President Trump has said in his speech that he's running, that he said he will win an election, quote, for the third time, unquote, during his Cpac speech. So my question to you listeners and you chatters and you callers is, do you think that President Donald J. Trump should run for, as he calls it, a third term? And if he does run, do you think he'll win? I will await your response on that one. Let's see. Absolutely. Yes, I agree. Look, I mean, to me, it's extraordinary that he actually wants to run again after what he's been through. I mean, I think that this is a great blessing for this country. The fact that this man, this extraordinary man, would step up and serve again after the crap that he went through for 4 years. The outright assault on him by what he accurately called the deep state. The constant lies day after day. I mean, even now they're lying. Oh, he supports Putin. That's a freaking lie, right? And not to mention the 2 impeachments, the conspiracy to say that he was spying for Russia, which apparently they haven't stopped. The false flag of January 6th at the Capitol, the election, which I don't want to use the word stolen because I'll get banned on YouTube, but let's just say that it's there were questions. All right. In spite of all this, and in spite of the personal assault on him and his family that is continuing, they're now looking at every real estate deal he made. I mean, it'll never stop. In spite of all that, he's willing to step forward and serve his country again. And I think that as far as I can tell you, and I don't know Trump at all. I interviewed him once years ago before he was running. I think that Trump is a man who has had an incredible life. He's had an incredible success. He is wealthy beyond belief. He's famous. He's got he's had an amazing family. He's got an amazing wife. He's got amazing children and grandchildren. He could go on and live a very comfortable life and enjoy all of the pleasures of his success, both materially and spiritually. He certainly could continue with influence. continue to do radio and TV, continue to do all the things that he always has done. But he has chosen, and he did choose in 2016, to enter public life and to serve his country as president of the United States. Because I think that he's reaching a point in his life where most people are thinking of retirement, and yet he's got this extraordinary energy. And he feels that this country has been good to him. This country has offered him a platform where he could be free and successful, and that he wants to give something back. He wants to do service to the country as his final act. I mean, it's a natural thing to want to do for anyone, right? I mean, I'm at that age where I think about that. What is my legacy? What are people going to remember me for, even in my own family, right? I mean, I've had health things happen. I mean, you wonder, you think about this. And I think that the answer for Trump has been, I'm going to go out with a blaze. I'm going to go out and serve my country, and I'm going to do it, selflessly. I mean, Trump isn't going to gain anything by running for president or being president. He's not going to get rich from it. He's already rich or famous. In fact, Trump lost money as president of the United States. His daughter, Ivanka, had to close her business because of all the crap that was thrown at her and at them, and the hate and the boycotts, right? I mean, he lost fame in a way. People no longer wanted to speak to him that were his friends and still are, but they couldn't be associated with him publicly because of the smear and the campaign of hate and propaganda and lies that were launched against him. I mean, the idiocy of it, if you think about it. But yet he stepped forward. He basically had a vision for this country that he has held for 30 years. He's not just someone who changes his stripes like a lot of politicians just to get elected. I don't think Trump's ever done that. I mean, a recent example, you see Beto O'Rourke in Texas. Oh, all of a sudden now he's in favor of gun ownership. The Second Amendment, really? I mean, he was a champion of gun confiscation. Now, all of a sudden, he's running for governor, and he realizes that 90% of Texans, including most liberals and Democrats, support the Second Amendment. So all of a sudden, no, he's changing because he wants to get elected. Bill Clinton was always like that. Most of these people are like that. Obama was like that. I remember interviewing Ari Berman. He's a reporter for Nation magazine, who attended a private meeting at the White House for media right after Obama had delivered his State of the Union speech, and he spoke eloquently about balancing the budget and reducing taxes. And, I mean, Axelrod, his chief of staff who held the meeting for the media, said, oh, those things, that was just a lot of talk. That's not true. Don't worry. We're going to raise taxes. Don't fuss. We're going to, blow up the budget just like we what we're going to do. We just have to say that for public consumption. And remember, Ari Berman was bragging about this. They'd say, you're bragging about the fact the president of the United States is lying? The point is, Trump didn't do that. Trump didn't speak in these sort of phony, sophistic, double-speak terms, these vagaries that people are sick of. Trump spoke honestly. He spoke simply. He spoke truthfully. And he sometimes spoke rather bluntly and crudely, but it was who he was. And I think people not only resonate with that, but I think we need that in this country. And he has changed the way we communicate ever since, because people no longer buy this kind of bull crap that we hear, this sort of like what French scholar Elaine Benescon called the language of totalitarianism. The language where everything, you come away from it and you're like, oh, boy, they sound smart. They sound great. But yet they said nothing, right? They said, or the communistic dialectic. I remember reading Benjamin Gitlow's biography. He was one of the founders of the American Communist Party. And he spoke about Robert Minor, who was the head of the American Communist Party back in the 1920s. And he said that Robert Minor's greatest skill as a communist, and it was a classic skill that communists learned, was that he could say two opposite ideas in the same sentence at the same time. And he could do it so flawlessly that nobody even knew that this had happened. In other words, you could be an accomplished liar. I think that has been the style of communication in this country, really going back probably to, I'm writing this in my book right now, which I'm calling The Biden Coup. Going back to the election of Woodrow Wilson, he was the first sort of intellectual professor to be elected, and he changed the way we communicate with each other and the way our politicians communicate with us. Everything suddenly was these lofty aphorisms and doublespeak and lies, basically. And that people sort of came to expect that because they look up and they go, oh, this person is so smart. They're so much smarter than I am. And yet you'd walk away not confused, but kind of numbed. You didn't know quite what was said. You know, there was something said that was good, but you didn't know quite what, right? Trump threw all that out. He did it because he was a businessman who knew how to speak plainly in order to make a deal. And he conducted his office that way. And that is why his presidency and his administration was the most successful since at least Franklin Roosevelt, probably Lincoln. Okay, when are we looking at decertifying? Somebody's asking me. All right, well, I can't get into that right now because I'm running live on YouTube, and that subject is forbidden on YouTube. So all I can tell you is if you're interested in developments regarding questions about the 2020 election, go to sources like the Gateway Pundit, go to the War Room Pandemic, hosted by Stephen K. Bannon, excellent program. Jack Posobiec, his Human Events, and a couple of other sources, and do your own research, okay? I can't talk about that right now. If someone wants to talk about that and they want to call in, I'll shut down YouTube and I'll take the call, but I'm going to continue here generally with YouTube on board, hopefully, and not say anything that is now forbidden by the fascists who run YouTube, all right? Should I say more? No. All right, I'm going to start to get steamed up. All right, you can call in 617-396-4958. Looks like I'm running a live stream on TikTok. I guess they're allowing me to do that now. So that's good. They haven't shut me down yet. I haven't said anything yet that I think they would. Of course, you never know. 617-396-4958. I've got my good friend at Facts Matter. He's been harassing me at TikTok. So how about the GOP caught forging electoral documents? You know, I don't know about that, but what I'll say is this, Facts Matter. If that's true, it kind of makes my case, and the case of a majority of Republicans, that things happened during that election, doesn't it? I'm not saying Republicans aren't above doing things like this, but I don't, and again, I don't want to get into this topic right now because I'm live on YouTube. It's such a shame you can't just say things freely. Yeah, it is a shame. It is sad. But that's the world we're in right now. And, you know, I feel confident because YouTube and Facebook and all these other streamers are being challenged by Rumble and Getter and Gab and all of these other sites that are going gangbusters. People like Joe Rogan at Spotify, you know, Alex Jones, he set up his own network. He doesn't care. Other people are doing this, you know, who have been banned and who have been purged. There's all these alternatives. I mean, I'm on Odyssey. I'm on all of them now. I collect these sites like people used to collect stamps and coins. If you want to see all the sites I'm on, go to my website, charlesmoscowitz.com. And you're going to see a list of 10 live streams that I'm on, and I'm on right now, including YouTube. And you're going to see about 30 or 40 podcast sites, including some pretty big ones like iTunes and iHeartRadio and Spotify and Stitcher, that carry my audio. They carry the program. And so I feel like if I'm going to be centered on one, I'll pop up on the other. Right now, I've decided to do this live stream without this, and I'm including the big censors like YouTube. So I'm not going to discuss certain things, but if I get a call or if somebody wants to chat about something that is forbidden on YouTube, I can shut YouTube down. Let me just see. I'd like to see Ron DeSantis run if Trump does not. That's a comment on YouTube. Yeah, I think Ron DeSantis is a good guy. I don't know if he quite has what it takes, what Trump has, but he's good. I like DeSantis. I'd like to see DeSantis run. I think that a Trump DeSantis ticket would be a powerful one. He says, that's very convenient, not knowing GOP were caught trying to overturn the election. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has said that. There might have been a little bit of cheating here and there, but no. Sorry, pal. I don't think so. All right. Skype, 617-396-4958. 617-396-4958 is the number. Hi, how are you? Would you like to comment on what you're hearing, or how are you? I'm getting a lot of feedback. No? Okay. All right. Bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Thank you. All right. 617-39, don't be shy. 617, come on down. 396-4958. What is on your mind? We're talking about President Trump's speech at Cpac. He apparently has said, and I quote, that he would win the election for the third time, unquote. This sounds to me like he's running. And I say, God bless him. I mean, this is an incredible thing. This man to stand up again and run again and put himself out there like this, that is incredible. All right, we've got President Trump at Cpac. Listen, facts matter. If you'd like to talk about this, call me. Come on the air with me and I'll discuss it with you. 617-396-4958. 617-396-4958. I think that also as I go live more with these live streams, I'm going to probably send out my Zoom link. I want to be careful with that one because I've had some bad experiences with that, but I might selectively send it out so that people can join me on Zoom and be seen and heard, not just heard. But again, if you want to call in, 617-396-4958, 617-396-4958. You're welcome to chat on YouTube if you happen to be watching live, or you can chat on Rumble. Please subscribe to my Rumble station. Rumble is kind of the flagship of the whole network, frankly, but you can also subscribe on YouTube and on TikTok. I will say about YouTube that I've been told continuously this past year that people have subscribed to my YouTube channel and then suddenly the subscription is dropped by who knows who. The same guy that pardoned Bannon. Bannon didn't rip off anybody. That's a lie. I mean, Bannon has been prosecuted. He's a tough guy. Check out, something, open your mind a little bit, Facts Matter, and listen to Bannon's program. He's on Apple. He's still available. He's got over almost 100 million downloads. It's huge. It's called War Room Pandemic. Check it out for yourself. Bannon didn't rip off anybody. Why would he? That's ridiculous. Bannon is an independently wealthy person. He worked at Goldman Sachs. He was a movie producer. He's made it. He doesn't need to rip anyone off. And if he did, then why weren't there charges brought, huh? Okay. Just so you know, Chip, Ukraine Stitch is a cover for the Biden misadministration. I don't know exactly what you mean by that. What I would say is this: I think that if Donald Trump was in the White House, this wouldn't be happening right now. I think that Biden is perceived as weak. He's perceived as illegitimate, not just in this country, but around the world. And I think that not Trump, God forbid, Putin felt that he could take advantage by moving in like this. I think that Donald Trump was a deal maker. He knew how to negotiate. This is one of the things why the left despises Trump, because they want to keep the world off balance. They like perpetual war. This was described very well by historian Harry Elmer Barnes in the 1920s, who wrote the book called Perpetual War for Perpetual Peace. That has been the internationalist globalist agenda since World War I. And this is exactly what they want to do. They don't want to negotiate. They don't want to make bargains. They don't want to have deals with foreign countries to bring about peace. And so they try to harry and harass and prevent President Trump from doing this, because that would fly in the face of their agenda and their goals. And I think that, having said that, we can see that President Trump did have these deals, and he used military force if in a very careful way where it applied, like, for example, destroying ISIS and taking out the terrorist Soleimani. Those are very strategic acts that resulted not in a lot of deaths of innocent people, and that stopped enemies of the United States. At the same time, he knew how to forge deals, like to help develop the Abraham Accords, where the state of Israel was able to have formal peace agreements with 7 Arab and Muslim countries, and those same countries moving their embassies to Jerusalem. Those are extraordinary developments. President Trump had on the table the Kushner proposals to the Palestinian Arabs. If I would contend that had Donald Trump been not removed from office, and I don't want to say more about that, and he was serving his second term right now, that deal would have gone forward, and the Palestinian Arabs would have achieved a reasonable level of sovereignty and independence in Judea and Samaria, where they could have functioned as a kind of a quasi-autonomous state. And that would have been a great thing. Why aren't I answering the phone? I am answering the phone. Call in. Sorry. 617-396-4958. Call that number. It will ring and I will answer. Sorry about that. I don't know why you're not getting through. Let me give the number again. If there's a problem, I mean, I don't. Somebody might be tampering. I don't know, but it should work. It should work. Here we go. Hello. Thanks for calling.
Okay, Charles.
Yes, you're on the air.
So
How are you?
I sent you the link multiple times.
Okay.
Multiple times.
Okay.
And this is confirmed knowledge. It's public knowledge. GOP leaders in 7 states were red-handed caught forging electoral documents for the 2020 election.
Can you no, look, I'll get into this. I have no problem with that. Can you send me an email at charlesmoscowitz@gmail.com? And I will look.
I can send you a direct message on TikTok.
Well, I'd rather you send it so I can do the research myself. I need to read some articles.
Okay, Charles. What's the email?
The email is Charles Moscowitz, spelled like Moscow with a Witz. I
know how to spell your name.
Thank you. Well, some people do it with a K. @gmail.com.
Okay.
All right.
Now,
so send that over. Now, who were these Republican leaders that were forging documents, and why haven't they been charged?
Well, the charges have been referred over to the DOJ.
Okay.
and they've also
Yeah.
been subpoenaed, and they've also been subpoenaed by the January 6th Commission.
Well, look, I mean, look, I'm not trying to,
Well,
look,
no,
if
no,
this
wait
is
a second,
true,
wait a second.
I'm with you. I mean, let's get to it. I don't, why isn't the media covering this?
You just blew it off, Charles.
Not at all. You send me the information, I'll do some research. I'm not going to just take your word for it.
All right, then let's go. I'll send you the research.
Thank
I'll
you.
send you several
Thank you.
links that
Please
back
do.
up, and I'll even send them from conservative sites.
Please do, because I'm not trying to blow you
Yeah.
off, but I'm not going to take your word for it. I need to do my
Charles,
own
come on,
research.
Come on. This is facts matter. Okay. I do my own work, and I've pointed out multiple times when you're completely off base. For example,
Yeah.
I just pointed out that Steve Bannon was arrested for ripping off Republican MAGA donors on the private wall project. You are
I am aware of
Correct.
that, and I have talked to you about
Uh-huh.
that. Why wasn't he
Yeah.
charged?
and it was public knowledge. And since you're all over the media, it was public knowledge that Steve Bannon was arrested under the Trump DOJ by William Barr.
Well, first of all, I don't think he was arrested. He was charged.
He was arrested. He was arrested. In fact, he was arrested on the yacht of a Chinese billionaire. These are facts. These are hard
Okay.
facts.
And it's
Now,
because he was ripping
And
off.
after that, yes, he ripped off conservative donors for $1 million.
All right, I mean, I'll look at this. I find that hard to believe, but I'm not saying it's
Wait,
not true.
I don't see how you would not know that, Charles.
I
You're
know
all
that he
over
was.
the place.
I know he
You
was charged with stuff. I don't know if it was ever really brought to
I
the point
find it
where it
very
was adjudicated.
convenient that when a conservative is found doing dirt, you somehow are completely out of the loop on it. Now, secondly,
Well, I haven't heard that. I
it
haven't heard those
also
arrested.
it was widely known that Trump pardoned said same Steve Bannon for those charges.
That I
So
do. I know he pardoned Steve Bannon. But the point is, he did
Okay.
it because he felt that Bannon was being unfairly prosecuted.
By Trump's own DOJ?
Yeah, by Trump's the same Bill Barr who refused to. Well, look, we can't get into this because I'm on YouTube. But well, in fact,
Okay, but
why don't I do this? I'm going to
shut.
shut. I'm going to
Wait a
shut off
second.
YouTube,
Wait,
and then we can
let-
talk about it. All right.
Let me make a point, though.
Yeah.